Hello all and welcome to a new mod I've made. So this is a mod showcase of Beds Are Us. So I've been busy over the last week, and I'm not joking, I made this majority. This took me about 10 days to fully create, and this is probably my most ambitious project yet. So first off, how do you get the beds? That's what people are going to be asked. Well, you go to the furniture workbench and they're all in here. So majority of the beds are only going to cost you any wood and fibre. So that one's my own. I literally made my own bed, so that one's a unique one just to give myself a challenge, and literally it's my literal real life bed recreated. You know, all the beds, any beds that actually have a sound built into them, they will, and we'll get to them in a moment, will cost 10 andamite just because of the uniqueness of them, and also they can get annoying. But all of them are in here. Majority of them will be literally just free wood and free plant fibre for like 3 and 4, 3 or 4 for majority of the crafting and everything. But let's go over the first bed set, the first type of bed. So the mod mostly is going to have this bed. So this is a double bed. Now only one person can sleep in it because I don't know how to make plugins, and to add another interaction I'll have to literally make a plugin for that. So I found out a different way. So you can sleep in the bed, but you can sleep on both sides. So these double beds allow you to choose which pillow you want to sleep on, and you don't have to reset the bed. Now the only time you need to reset the bed is when you're changing the set. So this is the dungeon set. So when I use the game's build hammer, iron build hammer or crude build hammer, it changes the bed, and you'll have to reset your respawn to access the bed again. So if you do change your bed, don't worry, this is not a mimic, it's just a sheet. There's not a mimic here, it's just a sheet. So that's the dungeon set. But if you use the build hammer, you will have to reset your spawn point because it's technically a new block. Then we've got one of the sets that I am really liking. This is the Hightail set. So this will have the work in progress sign, Hightail logo, the new arcade machine I turned into a sheet. We've got the game's community manager and Simon for why not. Then we have the metal set based on the new metal stuff, so the new roofs and pipes and stuff. So you got the zinc, you got your bronze, you got your iron. Oh, that's bronze. You got your gold, and you got your other metals. And you can hear they make a metal sound, and they also have 3D rivets coming out of them. And I added some extra colours that aren't in the game because I thought we needed a little bit extra variation. And then you've got along your nature set. So this is based on artists from an artist I know that their work is public domain. This is actually used in tile mapping for one of their indie games from back in the day. And because they put a whole bunch of art into public domain, I decided to turn them into bed sheets. So some of them, as you see, the blocks move because of moving around the textures. You got the nature set. And then this is the quilt set. I call it the quilt set. This was actually my first bed stuff I started working on. And this has probably one of the largest sets. So that's based on a new project I'm working on that ain't out yet. So that mod with this stuff is a leftover thing from another mod that I'm working on at the moment that won't be available for a while. So this just adds just a nice quilted to bed set. Now we start moving on to more kind of special beds. Kind of special. This one's a special one. So you may notice on the bed are these things that are glowing. So I figured out how to make glowing blocks that don't emit light. They're actually buttons from a chest. Only one chest in the game, I'm not joking. How I've actually done it is I've taken this legendary chest, its model, you can see that's glowing. That button there is glowing. Well, if you grab that button and its folder, copy into another block bench model, it keeps its property. I don't know how to recreate it at this stage, but it keeps its property, and what I mean it keeps its property, if we change it to day or night, you can see those dots are glowing. Meaning we have the space set. Space set is one of my favourites. Then we have the ocean / ice set. So you've got jellyfish and then water, penguins in an iceberg and then just ice. Then you've got fish at a pool and then just the pool of water. And now this set, no one has seen this yet. I actually just made this like a couple hours today because I thought of it last minute. This is the pet set. So recently I adopted a blind kitten. We've called her Daredevil Line, and we got some steps for her so it's easier to get on the bed. And then I thought, why don't I make it into a bed set? So it's got a paw print, it's got a cat collar or a pet collar, and it's got some little steps here. Now the steps don't do anything, they're there for display to act like that's where you put your pet up. And they've got some nice pastel colours and a black and white version. So that's the main set. That's the main bed you'll have in the mod that you'll see with all those sets. Now we're going to move on to two of my, I think, fun beds that I mucked around with. So this one I made the other day. Someone asked if I could make a double deck bed. Now, the top does not work, it's just for show. The only part that's the bed is this part here. This is the only part that's the bed. But you can sleep on the bottom. The top part is just for show. It's literally does nothing. But remember, hit the bottom. There are variations. It's just to add a fun thing to a bedroom, or just a fun bed in the living room. Now this bed is more for if you're having a chest room with a whole bunch of treasure and you just want to sleep in a chest. Simple as that. It's literally you sleep in a chest. This is actually where the first idea of the glowing stuff came from. When I made this, I realised that glowing block stayed when I moved it, so it ain't a texture map, and I started playing around with it. It also has a different variation that has treasure in it. Now, this is the only thing in the mod that's not a bed. I was going to make pet beds with them on beds, but the model got too complicated. So this is based on an actual plushie I have in real life, a rainbow cat plushie. And it's also a mascot on my stream, and it's a seat. So this is the only item in the whole mod that is not a bed, it's a seat. And it also has the same glowing properties. I couldn't get it through the whole time model, it kept bugging out, so it's only on the back. And then last off is my bed. This is literally based on my real life bed that my community helped me fundraise a couple of years ago when I had a vet infestation in my old streaming room. So this is the bed my community helped fundraise to actually get it, so I thought I'd immortalize it in game. So that's some of the beds, but that's not all. The mod is still very big. So we're going to move on to now the neon stuff. So the neon stuff are a little bit more expensive, so Endermite because of music. So the more basic neon ones are very cheap, so there's a price. So first off you have the Tron bed set. So it goes for all the colours, as well as at night time they glow. So it's a fun thing to add to a room or a thing. I am working on my next mod that's going to be a neon furniture set that will dabble more into the neon stuff that's in this area here. As you can see, all of these are glowing, including the super neon set. This is the actual neon set. This is the one I really experimented with, and I'll be expanding. I wanted to make a neon bookshelf with the books I made here. If you're wondering what that says, it just says neon bed. It's in Japanese, just neon bed. So you've got all these glowing beds. Now these beds are unique and special. So I'm going to give you a warning. One of these beds, this one here, is copyrighted music in the sense that you can play it in streams, but on YouTube it will get copyrighted. It's something to do with audio licenses, and this is a remix of Stamp on the Ground, but because of Stamp on the Ground and the original artist is behind the studio, remixes and everything. But we'll get to that one in a moment. So first off, you've got this bed. This is in-game. And then you've also got this beard. And this is based on a Dance Dance Revolution machine song called Captain Jack. And then you got Lizard beard. So the way the beards are made, they only activate when you jump on the beard. So for short sounds like this, it will just keep on playing. The song will not get interrupted. Now the radius of them is 5 blocks away from the beard that you can hear it. If someone is outside that radius, they will not hear the beard. If you hit escape, you will still hear the beard. It used to disable it, but in the latest version it doesn't do that anymore. But you can literally, it will, and also once you've played and hear it, it will keep on playing wherever you are in the world. If you teleport away, as long as you're in this world, in the world you are, the beard is in, you will still hear the music. So these next 2 beards are more fun for when you're actually exploring. So this one is a Stamp on the Ground remix, and this one so that's Stamp on the Ground, and this one is Crab Ray. So I just played both those at the same time just so YouTube doesn't copyright the whole entire video and mute everything. And as you can see, you can still hear it outside the game. I don't, it's just how the game is coded at the moment. I believe that's a bug where it shouldn't be doing that. You should be able to leave the game and not still hear it. But you can see I've left the world and I can still hear it. I'm waiting on a patch to fix that because I don't think that should happen when you're playing music in a game. When you leave game you can still hear music, but you can still hear it. So just be aware, if you jump on the bin and leave, you're going to still hear it. It's going to be a little bit muted, but you're still going to hear it. It used to be, before this update, it just disabled the sound. I believe this is a bug at the moment that I'm waiting for them to fix. I've already reported on it, and I'm just waiting for them to fix. There's not many people doing what I'm doing with the modding thing with the sound system, so I'm right now waiting for that to be fixed. And I think the issue is with the new voice system they made. So I'll be right back once the music stops. Okay, the music finally stopped. So I'm going to wait for them to fix it, but we'll move on to the next set. So we've got the cars here. So these are the racing car beds. You can see they are a block set as well, so you can change it. And I'll go daytime. Now, the racing car beds also have and I do want to expand on making more cars. These were just the first one I was playing around to see how well I can make models. Now the models are a little bit buggy, but I've done my best to try and make it a car bed. The glowing effect was only a later on thing I figured out. Now we also have this set. This is probably the largest set I have out of all the beds. This was actually not a plain bed. This was actually, I'm part of Sketching McCaw's Discord, and I've been asking for advice and help with making mods for Hightail, and he's been a massive help. and one of his moderators on his Discord was saying, well, we'll add the beard mod to our server that they have, but we need a beard for Sketchy from McCaw. And Sketchy said, well, how about a bird nest? So I made a bird nest, and then I kind of went a little bit nuts and made every single wood type. And when I mean bird nest, you sleep in a nest. Look, I'm in a nest. Now, with the way the bird nests are made, because of the way just the player model and how beds are made in general, you're going to see that the bed actually block is on this corner. The actual block is not centered in this way of centered, just because of how the player model, you can't actually move the player in the sense of left, right, and up and down. You've got to make actual new interaction stuff, and that's all a whole bunch of plugin stuff, and I'm not good at coding. This is mostly asset editor stuff. But that is the Nestbird set, and then we have the probably the two fun ones. I call the fun ones. Oh, hello mouse. Don't mind me, the crocodile ain't gonna eat you, little one. So this is the crocodile bed. Yes, it's a bed. You can sleep in the crocodile. Also, the eyes glow. And the shark eyes also glow at night time, so you can see it glowing in the distance. Now the crocodile also looks really good in the water. If we take the crocodile, and you'll see its paws are under the water, so you can see its legs are under the water. And we have the shark bed. Now, don't worry about the water glitch. This is a thing that happens now and again when you have too many mods in the world. It's just a bug that Hightail is still fixing that happens now and again. Don't really know why it happens, but some people know. And as you can hear, the shark bed makes the draw theme song. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. So these beds are fun to have in the water if you've got a coastline area or you've got a swimming pool, you want to add something to the swimming pool. The idea was to make a pool floaty, but it just kept bugging out and just looked weird because the foot player model kept glitching through it. But this is the bed mod and everything I've been working on. I hope you guys enjoy it and have fun with it, and I hope this allows you to make your world that more special and that more epic. I'd love to see what you guys do. If you've made a house with one of the beds and you've got it in your bed, or you've put it in a build, share it to me on Twitter. I'm live every day on Twitch. I'm already working on the next project, and I hope you enjoy the showcase of the mod. Leave comments down below of any other beds you'd like me to add, any ideas for different sets, and if I like it and the people like it, we'll add it to the mod. But I will see you guys on the next mod showcase, and I'll catch you live over on my stream every day. Enjoy the mod, share it with your friends, and have a good day all. Enjoy Beds Are Us.